but it looks even better with the light going. Try not to waggle you guys a little too much. All right, it might look a little bit better. I'm not sure. If you guys end up joining and you don't like the light too much, let me know. Actually, let me see if I can make this even more stable. I've been trying out this new stand that I have, although at times it can be a little on the wobbly side. Hopefully, as that settles in, it'll be a little bit better for you guys. But if it is, I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. Thank you guys for stopping through the live stream. As always, I'm just here to chill with you guys, hang out and talk about fragrances. You're more than welcome to come through and ask questions. Let's see if I can lower this down so I can actually see what I got going on a little bit better. But yeah, I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. I'm a fragrance YouTuber. I also talk about other subjects on my channel, personally, like my faith and stuff. But for the most part, I'm a fragrance YouTuber. I love hanging out with you guys. Oh my goodness, yes, Redbeard. Super duper happy to see you, buddy. I don't know if you see or not, but since the last time that you was a part of a stream with me, what's up, John? Redbeard, I don't know if you saw from the last time that we were doing a stream together, I now have the ability, not that I'm asking them for them, but I now have the ability to do super chats and memberships. That's cool. We hit a threshold, and I'm also closing in finally on the ability to actually get paid officially from YouTube through marketing and through ads and stuff like that. So we're getting somewhere. But everybody who's coming through, who's new here, I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. This is my channel where, for the most part, I review and talk about fragrances. I do a lot of live streams. It's kind of the center of what my channel is about. I definitely do try to do weekly a actual single fragrance review of something that either I've got or that you guys have asked me to do. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I don't receive free fragrances for the most part. I just talk about things that I bought myself with my own money. I'm not professional or anything. I'm just passionate, and I love hanging out with you guys and get to know y'all better. It's not just about me. It's about having a community. Hey, I'm proud of you, man. I told you. Thank you so much, Redbeard. Like you, having been here this whole time, hanging out with me and talking during these streams that I did, you are one of the core people. And John, you as well. You've been along with the ride. So you guys who have come along and helped continue to push me to even do this. When I first did a couple of live streams, I wasn't sure how it was going to go. Getting to meet folks and just talk about things that we love has meant a lot to me. I tried to pivot and gear shift a little bit what this channel was going to be primarily about. I've ended up deciding, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it to the core and focusing primarily on fragrances. But as well, I'm still going to talk about the other things I care about. From time to time, do my Bible study live streams and stuff that means something to me. But everybody of all walks of life are welcome to my streams and to come hang out and chill. But yeah, if anybody has any questions today, by the way, just want to go ahead and jump in a few things that you guys might have missed during my last couple of streams in case anybody wasn't able to stop through. First of all, I want to know how you guys have been doing, like Redbeard. I'd love to catch up, see how life's been treating you. But also, I got Tarathi Blue. I don't know if anybody who's popping through here knows what this is. You probably do. If you've been remotely involved with the fragrance community, I had heard a lot about this for quite a while. People have been asking me to get my hands on this bad boy, and finally I did. And I have to say, I'm not extremely impressed, but at the same time, it's not bad. It's just a very extremely basic blue fragrance, very bright citrusy. It smells like a Tarathi Blue. Now that I got this, I've been giving it a shot. I did order Tarathi the Electric Edition. That one just came out not long ago, and I have that on the way. It'll be here hopefully next Wednesday. I'm excited about that because that's supposed to be, I believe, like Blue Talisman, but by Ex Nihilo. But this one, I believe, was supposed to be what, Bulgari Tiger, something like that. Already a fragrance that I'm not a huge fan of. I'm not entirely sure if that's what it's supposed to be because I haven't smelled that one in so long. I don't even really remember what that one's like, to be honest with you. I know people talk about it a lot, but it's just not something I care about too much. This one, on the other hand, it's nice for the price that you pay for it. I'm gonna give it like a fat 5 out of 10. Reason is, it's not necessarily my style. It does smell fairly cheap for the most part. It has good performance. I will give it that. A lot of F9s, I'm starting to realize, F9s are less talked about than French Avenue or Hod Lodge, and also as well Latafa. People talk about F9, but not as much as I see those other brands at this moment being talked about in the dupe game or in the cheaper fragrance game. But I do got to give F9 a lot of credit. They make good stuff. And Tarathi Blue, it's decent enough for what it is. I was going to try and get Hawass Tropical and F9 Electric, but my Afterpay wasn't caught up. I definitely understand that. I don't have Hawass Tropical on the way just yet. Like I said, I got the I got Tarathi, the Electric, the Blue Electric. I am excited about that because people always talk about there's almost like a bug spray or hairspray kind of feel that they get in general when they get their nose on Ex Nihilo's Blue Talisman. So since they made a huge deal out of doing like an event and everything for the new Electric, Tarathi, I haven't got to smell it, but I would like to know what it's like. So when it gets here next week, I'm going to do maybe an actual just general live stream comparison. Sometimes I don't always know if I want to do a full review for something or if I just want to wait till I do a stream like this and talk about it directly with you guys. Kind of like I did Castly when that came out, when I got my little sample of Castly from Parfums de Marley. And I was happy to be able to tell you guys like live and in person, smelling it for the first time. It wasn't that great. It was okay, but it's definitely not something I would spend the money on. If you have to get something between Greenleaf, Sedley, and Castly, I personally would send you to Greenleaf first, but that's just me. I know a lot of people prefer Sedley, technically speaking, but Castle's definitely just getting hyped up quite a bit, and it's not that great. That's just my opinions, but that is what I have to say. But I thank you guys so much, by the way. Anybody who comes through here, if you don't know, my name's Andrew Douglas Moon. This is a channel. Let me see, liked and subscribed in Canada. What's up, Jeffrey? I appreciate you taking the time. I don't know why I do that. I'm always like, for a while, I was doing the thumbs up thing. Just whatever, but I appreciate you so much, Jeffrey, for popping through. I'm a guy who talks about fragrances. I appreciate y'all so much. When I say this next part, I mean not to scare you off or run you away, but I also am a Christian, but everybody of all walks of life is welcome here. I'm not prejudiced against anyone or anybody. I do Bible study live streams sometimes, just throwing it out there. So if you do subscribe, you might see that, but it's okay if you don't stop through for those, if you're not interested in that kind of stuff. Just letting you know I do that. But again, my channel is a fragrance channel welcoming everybody here. So I do these streams kind of frequently. And you are allowed to ask any questions, whether you send any money or not, super chats, all that crap. I don't really care. I just started being able to do that. But you guys are welcome to ask any questions, and I'll try to answer you. I'm going to hop off. Well, hey, I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you too, brother. And thank you for popping through. Which one do you prefer, portrait of a lady or a car? By the way, I'm sorry if I missed somebody's comment just a minute ago. It said milestone. But portrait of a lady or carnal flower. I have carnal flower. To be honest with you, I've not smelled carnal flower, so I don't want to give my thoughts. I don't give my opinions about stuff that I haven't had the chance to smell just yet. I just don't think that that's fair. So for me personally, I haven't smelled carnal flower, but I do like portrait of a lady. Portrait of a lady is nice, but it's not quite my style. Rose fragrances are some of my favorite of all time. Like rose is one of my favorite notes in fragrances, and it reminds me of my wife. She works with flowers and has for a very long time. But yeah, I haven't smelled carnal flower, so I'm sorry I can't help you. But I'd love to know what you think about that. I did recently try this by, I believe it's Paris Corner. So Amir's Identity Unique Portrait. This actually liked a little bit more than Portrait of a Lady. I did a Portrait of a Lady review not long ago, but I prefer this one because it's a little bit more manly with a mild amount of like soft oud underneath it. And I'm not a big oud fan, but the way it was done with this and a little bit backed off of the berry notes, this is a little bit more my speed, and plus it's way cheaper. Good performance too. Scent of the day, Liquid Brune. It's good even in high heat. I agree with you. Some people try to say something like Liquid Brune is only good for wintertime, stuff like that. I think you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want. I actually am more of a woodsy and gourmand type of fan myself, but Liquid Brune is a really good choice. I have grown to like Hot Lodge Island a little bit more personally, but you've made a good decision as well. I got those. Ha ha ha, you're good, bud. I'm ex-atheist. I actually ordered a Bible today. Hey, that's awesome, Jeffrey. Well, like I said, even though I talk about my faith from time to time because it's very important to me, my family, and so forth, it's not the only thing I try to push on this channel because it is started off as and continues to be primarily a fragrance channel. I just let people know if you come through here, you're welcome to join when I do those streams. And, I'm never here to argue or debate with people because that stuff's a waste, even if it's about fragrances, right? It's pointless to argue and debate with people about stuff and be disrespectful because you're not going to really change people's mind when you argue. Only conversations can help us grow. But I appreciate that. That's really cool. And I'm happy that you're here, Jeffrey. We can definitely continue to talk some more through comments on here and during my other live streams. You're welcome anytime. And to Nicole555, what's up, buddy? I appreciate you stopping through here. Anybody who comes through means the world to me because, again, when we do these YouTube things, any of us who do YouTube, especially live streams and stuff, like it doesn't really mean anything if you guys don't actually come through and we get to talk. I'm sorry if I talk too fast for some of you guys. I do my best to keep up with every comment that comes through. And if I don't spam, but if I ever do miss any of you guys' comments, you're more than welcome to do repeat comments as well. If you stick around for a long time, you may hear me do repetitive comments, repetitive responses, because sometimes people will ask the same thing multiple times if they hadn't been through already. But yeah, I try to do these streams as often as possible, and you guys are welcome anytime. Hey, what's up, Marco? Super happy to see you. Just want to throw this out there one more time. Anybody who pops through and starts watching, you're more than welcome to ask any questions you want, even if it's not fragrance related, but just want to throw this out there. I keep a family-friendly community here, and that's the type of chats that I do. So if you're here to troll, if you just want to make fun a little bit, say I look like Man Shrek, that's fine. If you start being aggressive or you start trying to argue or be hateful to people, or say inappropriate stuff, you will get banned from the chat. My mods will take care of that for me because I just don't welcome that kind of stuff. So just letting that be known if you pop through here. I like everybody to feel welcome and comfortable. With that being said, is Dylan Blue good, and how much does it last? So with that being said, Dylan Blue is not my personal forte. Just throwing that out there. I don't think it's a bad fragrance. It's just a super youthful fragrance. It's an eau de toilette, but at the same time, it's black pepper forward. But at the same time, my personal experience is it performs probably about good 4 to 6 hours. Of like moderate projection. If you smash it on, because it's a pretty cheap fragrance, it can give you pretty well. And everybody's a little bit different too. Fragrances are very hormonally based per person. Something might work better on me than it does another person. Some things even smell different on certain people than it does others as well, how it reacts to your skin. But Dylan Blue, it's a pretty decent fragrance, but it's just not my personal taste. If you want something similar, like with a black pepper feel, I like to send people towards the new, it's also a really good price, and this is an eau de parfum, higher concentration fragrance oil. So this is the new Capri in Love by light blue Capri in Love by Dolce & Gabbana. So it's got that black pepper, but it's also got fig. It's got aquatic notes and things along those lines. And to me, I just think this is like a little bit more of a any age range fragrance, more strong, better performance, technically speaking. Really good price range. I think for this bottle, this is 100 ml or what is that in fluid ounces? 3.3 fluid ounces. And I think this bad boy goes for like 125, something like that. So not too bad. But yeah, I don't really steer people towards Dylan Blue too often, but it's also my opinion, and you might love it if you get a chance to try it. Just be cool. Absolutely, Marco. Have you tried Kalan by PDM? I have tried Kalan. I don't personally have that. I've tried it, and actually do have a little bit of a sample bottle that I got from Nordstrom. Kalan was my first ever PDM that I smelled when I went to the store. And it's funny because my wife actually thought that for some in her mind, the smell reminded her of dead ladybugs. She was like, I don't know why. I've never smelled dead ladybugs, but this smell just makes me think of dead ladybugs. I personally liked it. My nose really peaked to it. And then I gravitated towards Althea and Greenlee at that time. But I do like Cologne. I just don't have it. I've never bought it because to this day, my wife's grown to love a lot of other stuff with time and nose exposure to different profiles, but she still doesn't like that one. But I will say it's pretty decent. And AD34T, if you had to give a rating out of 10 for YSL EDP, what would it be? Interesting that you should ask that. I would say for me personally, this actually is what my wife calls the snuggle smell. The reason is when I first got this way back, she thinks that it just smells like something beautiful to snuggle to. It has like an apple, almost pear-like quality to it. So I know she would give it like a 10 out of 10. It's not her favorite fragrance, and it's not my favorite either. But because it has like a sentimental value for some reason, it just smells like something we'd like to wear whenever me and her just relaxing on a beautiful day. Maybe it's bright or rainy outside, something like that. I would say, objectively speaking, I'd give it maybe about a 9.2. Decent performance for what it is, but not the absolute best. And I'd say the smell profile is not the most unique in the world, but it's still really nice. So for me personally, I'd say YSL EDP, probably about a 9.2 out of 10. But that's just me. I really like Bleu de Chanel EDT. Lasts like 3 hours and needs some tough blue fragrance under $100. Tough blue fragrance under $100. That's tough because I was about to straight up tell you, go ahead and get the Bleu de Chanel Parfum because that's my personal favorite edition, although it's quite a bit different of a profile. Real quick, hey, have you tried Marwa Arabiat Prestige? Arabiat Prestige, is that what I got here? It is. Actually is what I, oh no, sorry, it's the wrong one. I'm thinking completely different. Sorry, this is my Dog the Hat. I've not tried Marwa by that yet, but I will say that the gold bottle that I just showed you, I actually really enjoy. I'm not a huge fan of too many, I like Middle Eastern perfumery, especially companies like Xerjoff. As you can see, I've got a bunch of those, did a bunch of reviews on those on my channel. I'm not quite the biggest fan of them as a whole. Hey buddy, what's going on, Tyles? Good to see you here. To my other friend who asked about something under $100 for a good blue fragrance. It's a little tough because you can get bottles of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense, the Eau de Parfum version. You can get bottles of that from stuff like fragrancenet.com for a decent price, under $100, depending on what bottle size you get. But for the most part, it's difficult because certain things like this, right, Tarathi Blue, I would say it's decent enough. It's got good performance, but they're just not the best scent profiles if you already like something like Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette. So sometimes I know there's a lot of fragrances people would suggest to you sometimes because they're cheap and like they're effective price-wise, but I have a problem suggesting things that don't have a really good lasting feel to them. Like not that they don't last all day, but like the scent profile is something that really you can express yourself with. Some stuff is just a little too basic. Sorry, it's just my thoughts. But also, if you guys ever ask me a question about a fragrance, if you're new to this channel, just want you to know, if I haven't personally smelled something before and I say I don't know, if you see someone's comment and you think you can help and you're being respectful, you guys are more, it's not just about me here. Everybody's welcome in this community. So you're more than welcome to help out and share your thoughts too if you're new here. Just throwing that out there. Was harsh leather for me, in my opinion. Raspberry goes away within 5 minutes. In my opinion, I smelled Oud Satin Mood today, and it's really nice rose scent. Do you like MFK? By the way, I'm sorry if I missed you guys' comments. Once again, if there's something you really want to ask me, you're more than welcome to re-comment that and let me know again. Is that what you're talking about? Just got here. So that's not what I'm talking about. I did talk about Tarothi Blue just for a minute. I'll get back to this in a second, but to my buddy Tiles here, just want to throw this out there. Oud Satin Mood is a fantastic fragrance. I personally prefer, one of my top 5 favorite fragrances of all time is Oud Silk Mood by Maison Francis Kirkjohn. Something about this one is a little bit less on the spice end and more bright medicinal floral. That's the way I explain it. I explain it as like medicinal floral because of the way the notes come across to me. But it's like a very bright, sharp, like lavenderish rose with a very sharp floral medicinal feel to it. It's hard to explain. It's like I don't know why, but what it is that's making me feel that way. It's like the lavender is more raw to it underneath the rose with the oud qualities going underneath. So this is one of the silkiest, not to be funny, but like the name says, one of the silkiest, most wonderful, strong fragrances I've ever smelled before. Some said Marwa. What's up, Genji? Super happy to see you here. It's a clone of Louis Vuitton Imagination. I'll definitely have to check that out. Oud Satin Mood too, but it's too feminine. So I know some people feel that way about Oud Satin Mood, so I will revamp this and say one more time that, not that you guys are saying anything, I'm just trying to like make this clear because Oud Satin Mood is the one most people end up knowing about. I'm not sure why, but that one just became more popular. I have to go look to see if that one came first because I do not really know. But again, I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy who loves fragrances. But Oud Silk Mood, to me, after testing them both, is the reason why I ended up buying Oud Silk Mood, is because I just fell in love with this one, and it is still, like I said, in my top 5 favorites of all time because it's a monster performer, but as well, it's, like I said, medicinal rose medicinal rose lavender feel with like a beautiful, luxurious, not cheesy, but just a beautiful, luxurious agarwood feel going underneath it. Just very strong. Only takes a few sprays to last all day, so it's expensive. I haven't found any dupes that really come close and do it justice, so I don't recommend any, but I think it's a fantastic fragrance. Has anyone tried Pendants by French Avenue? I have not. I've not tried that, but I have been looking recently at more French Avenue dupes to get my hands on just to answer questions for people. Do you have any vintage scents? It's a fantastic question. I actually don't have any. So if you're talking about like actual bottles of older fragrances, I haven't got my hands on any because when I first started doing my collection so I could do reviews and stuff, again, I buy all these myself with my own money, so nobody sends me these, and I kind of only acquire things that I know that I really want to smell myself. I only recently started building a list of stuff people want to see me do, which I know means that I'm going to really get behind because in today's fragrance world, especially because of TikTok and stuff, it's all about like what's the newest cheap thing, the newest dupe. Plus, most of those people get sent boxes of free junk, so it's kind of hard to keep up with that stuff. But truly, if any of you guys want to actually really see me like do reviews of stuff, I'd love for you to send me more things or send me more fragrances you'd like to see me do. I would say Al Haderman Oud is a good imagination cologne. I had to check that out. I'm not personally a huge Louis Vuitton fan. I say that in a lot of streams because people end up bringing up Louis Vuittons, especially closer to summertime. Ombre Nomad is probably the only one that I have much love for. It's just that they're very, very expensive. Like I know that like stuff like MFK can be extremely expensive, but at the same time, the performance has always been there for me, and the uniqueness to the scent profiles has always been there for me. Whereas things like Louis Vuittons, other than Ombre Nomad, just kind of fall out for me. Sarthak, what's up, buddy? Where have I been? So I did. So most of you probably don't know if you're new here, but I was out of doing these for a while due to the fact that my grandmother has been in hospice. We are actually finally at the point where truly any day or any moment now she's going to be passing on, and we've all kind of been able to make peace during this time. It's been a tough process, but we're doing okay. But with that being said, I was out for a little bit at first trying to help out with that, but I ended up going back to work. So I've been back at my job full time the past 2 weeks, and I just haven't, I've been really tired and haven't had as much time to do this, but I did change my work schedule to 7 to 3:30 p.m. now. So I'm actually getting off a lot earlier since I live an hour away from my job. So I'm going to be able to start doing these a lot more with you guys. And I appreciate you, Marco. Thank you. And I appreciate that so much. What's my favorite bottle? Do you mean scent-wise, what's my favorite bottle? Or, like, my favorite bottle shape? I know it's probably a stupid question because maybe you meant bottle shape, but I do wanna answer your question. Did you know I'm completely anosmic to Baccarat Rouge? That's wild. That does happen to a lot of people, and it happens to my wife at first when she first smells it, and then she gets back used to it again. And that's okay, Sarthak, I appreciate you. When I first smelled PDM out there, it smells amazing. 2 days, now it seems like it only lasts a few hours. That's probably definitely because you're getting more nose blind to it, more accustomed to the scent profile. Not that that's for sure what's happening, but it does happen to a lot of fragrances. If you get too much exposure to them, your nose becomes very accustomed to the scent profiles, and then it kind of dies off for you. Although other people around you can smell you. Same thing happened with me when I first started wearing my Baccarat Rouge. I got the 540 Extrait edition, Extrait de Parfum, and when I was putting it on, I started to get like used to it, and I was like, well, I don't smell anything at this point. This bottle sucks, and that was my first MFK that I got. Turned out everybody else around me could smell me very powerfully because I was like, ah, really crushing it on. So I learned my lesson. You really got to ask other people if something's coming off, even if you think you can't smell it. So shape. Okay. So as far as the shape goes, real quick, I'll answer Tyler. Sorry about your family member. Hey, hugs to you, buddy. I appreciate you so much. Nice seeing you again. What's up, Pratik? Hopefully I said your name properly. Very, very happy to have you here, buddy. But as far as shape goes, I'm always going to be a sucker for Xerjoff fragrances. I just am absolutely in love with the classic, old, luxurious feel of their bottles. Most Xerjoff bottles just make me very happy, and I love looking at Naxos. Naxos bottle just makes me feel really happy. I don't know what it is, but something about the like the jewel almost shape to it brings me an incredible amount of joy. As well, on Boadicea the Victorious, I love the artwork on bottles, the engravings on things like Ardent by Boadicea the Victorious. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. So yeah, those are Xerjoff bottles and stuff like that are pretty much my absolute favorites. Also, even though it's not my favorite scent, Lattafa's Eternal Oud is really cool. What's your thought about clone fragrances and decants and where to buy them? Yeah, if y'all haven't seen his scent application tutorial, check it out. Yeah, definitely go check that out. I show you guys how to absolutely blast yourself and cover yourself in the fragrances. But with that being said, my thoughts about clones and dupes. Real quick, my buddy Tyler, if you're still here, I'm sorry I didn't answer you way earlier because I just remembered. But Tyler French, if you're still around, if not, I'm sorry. But Tarathi Blue, just a quick letting you guys know because I got this recently, and then Tarathi Electric is on the way, the new one. Don't like it a whole lot. It's cool. It's cool. It's a good dumb reach that you can just throw on, just like a lot of cheap fragrances, which I guess I'll tie in together about my thoughts about clones and dupes. I think that they can be fantastic depending on how they were done. I understand as a musician, as an artist, and my wife is a professional artist, I understand the idea of saying, hey, using cloning and duping things is ripping things off, technically speaking. And so from one end on the artistic scale, it is ripping stuff off. I've heard people try to say things like, well, don't make things that can be copied so easy, or how can you be a hypocrite? But if somebody does work really hard, and trust me, perfumers work extremely hard to make their fragrances, especially more of the niche ones and stuff. It takes a lot of time and skill to become a talented perfumer. I do have major respect for what goes into these people making stuff like Naxos and so many things from Amouage and things like that, or MFK. So I'm not a big fan of the idea of copying things. On the other hand, I know that a lot of people need to spend their money responsibly. So if you can find things for a good price, I think that that's decent enough. So I'm kind of in a mixed place when it comes to dupes and stuff. Thoughts on Xerjoff, Naxos, and PDM Pegasus? I'm not a huge fan. Just letting you be known, I'm not a big fan of Louis Vuitton Imagination or most of those Louis Vuitton fragrances. Just way too expensive for the performance that you get. Similar to like God of Fire and stuff like that. I don't like pushing fragrances or telling you guys, even if the scent's pretty decent. And to me, those fragrances are not that unique. Just that's my personal thoughts. No offense if you disagree. You're welcome anyway. But Xerjoff Naxos is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It's again in my top 3. And Pegasus, I really like PDM Pegasus, but it's hard to recommend to a lot of people because it's a very specific type of fragrance profile. On the other hand, I have not yet met a single person who didn't really enjoy when I was wearing Naxos by Xerjoff. Checked out your songs. Hey, I appreciate that so much. Yeah, a lot of people maybe didn't notice, but the other day I shared an old song me and a friend of mine wrote, and I mostly just sang on it. But I shared a short video of that on my channel of us doing a song that we did a while back. So if you're interested in folk music or anything like that, please feel free to go check it out and tell me what you think. And I appreciate you so much, Marco. I think I'm also for India, Enjoy Imagination. just got off too quickly. Hey, I'm super happy to have you guys here from India, by the way. It brings me an awful lot of joy. I agree, imagination is not much lasting. Love the composition. That's awesome. Well, I'm really happy to have you guys here. Why do you like niche over anything? So, Carlos, I would say that it really just depends on the fragrance. Something just being niche means that it's supposed to be technically unique compared to designer, but it doesn't mean that they're better than designers. It all depends on the nose of the person. Obviously, mass appealing makes a lot more money. It appeals to a lot more people. But me personally, I have a mixed bag, like in my top 10, for instance, of like niche versus designer fragrances. One of my favorites of all time is Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Le Parfum, Le Male Elixir, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense, stuff like that. But I also love Naxos and things like that. What's your thoughts about Diptyque? Haven't really smelled anything about them, assuming by taking a look at your collection. But I will say, yeah, definitely, Carlos. I do have an incredible amount of niche, but a lot of it was just me getting into Zerjoff a lot, getting into Amouage a lot. I absolutely love those brands. They do like hit after hit. So, really, my personal thing. And by the way, sorry for talking so fast again to anybody new coming through. I just try I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. This is my channel, and I do my best to keep up with you guys. Absolutely. I would recommend you Dubai. Huh, I had to check that out. Thank you. I don't want to say your name improperly, but Aditya. Hopefully, I said your name right. Thank you for commenting. Aditya, I didn't know about this one. Yeah, if you guys ever have anything that you want to suggest or to other people or to me, I appreciate y'all a lot. What's your thoughts about Riff's Memento? Thank you for asking. Let me pull that bad boy down real quick. I actually got it in the other day. By the way, just throwing this out there, I'm not entirely sure if my microphone's been working recently, so if you guys can't hear me, can you guys let me know if at least the audio is doing well? I think I messed up the plug-in part on my microphone thingy. So just let me know if you guys can hear me pretty decent or if it sounds like I'm too far away, but if it is, I can't do a lot about that. With that being said, so I got Memento in by Riffs. I just want to can hear you perfectly fine, brother. Heck yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, Top Music. But so to answer you real fast, by the way, just throwing this out there, not to be like a douchebag about it, but as a YouTuber trying to continue to grow, if you guys would be willing to do so, if you haven't yet, but you're enjoying this, please don't forget to hit the like button because it helps these things to continue to grow. So I know people don't like hearing that. It sounds like I'm pushing things on you guys, but it definitely helps. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. But with that being said, I'm going to be real. I was looking forward to getting this. This is not quite the monster performer that I thought it was going to be. Don't get me wrong. Now, Riff's Memento performs very well. But the way, obviously, like, I'm so sick of the YouTube, like, sponsored and TikTok sponsored perfume people, because even though there's some that I do respect, and just receiving free stuff doesn't mean you won't be honest. With that being said, a lot of them do say things just because they get paid to do it. I'm actually friends with two people now who I'm not going to say their names, but they get sent free stuff. And I've seen the emails that they also get, which I've gotten before, about, hey, we'll send you this, but you have to say it's really good. And I'm not going to do that crap. This personally is a nice fragrance, but if you was going to get something instead, like this is actually an ironically kind of similar, like more fruity version. There's other fragrances that are in some type of vein, or like the same family of this type of scent. Like I've got the Club de Nuit Intense Woman. And for me personally, I just think that the performance for this is not that amazing. It's still good, but not absolutely amazing that people say it is. It's definitely not 10 hours of like monster performance. And as well, the scent's just kind of like, I don't know, like a creamy milk chocolatey almost rose type of deal, or something like vanillic creamy milk chocolatey rose type of feel. It's just almost youthful is the way I'll put it. So not my favorite. It might be for other people. That's just my personal opinions. Used to hate by the fireplace. Heck yeah, I understand. Yeah, most of them lie. Many reviewers, bro. Have you tried Initio Paragon? I absolutely have. Just throwing that out there. Paragon is one of my absolute favorite Initio fragrances. One more time, just letting you guys know. Sorry for talking too fast as you come through here. If you're new here, I just try to keep up with everybody. If I missed your comment, please feel free to repost it one extra time. But yeah, I like Initio Paragon. It's actually fantastic. I'm not into noir DNA, too old school for me, and that can definitely be the case for a lot of people. I see that Oud Mineral is there. I actually just did a review recently, an actual review of Oud Mineral by Tom Ford. For me personally, maybe it's just my DNA, my bottle. Sometimes quality control at Tom Ford is all over the place. As much as people pay for Tom Ford, you would think they do a better job. But unfortunately, sometimes they don't seem to do so, and they can go hit or miss with like performance. My Oud Mineral does extremely well for me performance-wise, but I have a friend who got a bottle, same thing. It doesn't really stick to the skin very well, but I really do love it. If you guys want to check out my actual reviews, please feel free to go watch the one I did recently. But this bad boy is a fantastic fragrance. A lot of Initios I've come to discover, especially compared to their sister house, the company they're owned by the same parent house, basically, is Parfums de Marly. I honestly think that Initios perform way better, although maybe perhaps their scents are slightly less unique, but still maybe a little bit more appealing. So this one's fantastic, very expensive, but I really do like it personally. And it's a really good summer scent. It's not something I go grabbing for a lot. In a way, I would almost say that sometimes when I say this stuff, it's just the way my mind is connecting things. But I almost kind of feel like Initio Paragon is like a enriched, luxurious form, like a grown-up, luxurious version, more expensive version of K by Dolce & Gabbana. If you've ever smelled K by Dolce & Gabbana, you're probably thinking if you smell them both, you're like, well, they're different. They are different. But that's kind of what I feel, is that Paragon by Initio is a more enriched, luxurious version of the same type of thing. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Just want to throw that out there one more time. And you guys who pop through here, like I just recently on my channel got the ability to even receive things like super chats and stuff. I'm not ever personally going to ask you guys for that kind of stuff because, again, I just, I feel weird about that. I just would rather earn money when I get the opportunity to do so through ads and stuff. But I really like the fact that I can finally have like memberships and super chats and junk, and it wouldn't be possible if you guys haven't been coming to the live streams. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for everybody taking the time to ever watch me. It means the world to me. So Ombre Leather is just a classic. Hey, Ombre Leather is absolutely one of my top. It's in my top 10 favorite fragrances of all time. The Ombre Leather Parfum. The Eau de Parfum is great. The Parfum Ombre Leather is back here, and it's one of my favorites of all time. I recently got. Where did I put it? Sorry, guys. I recently got Rare Carbon is back there by Afnan. I think it is Afnan or Armaf. Let me see. Yeah, Afnan. So they're the company that also made Tarathi Blue. I got Rare Carbon by them, and that is actually like a fantastic take on Ombre Leather, although it's not quite the same. It's missing that rich sandalwood quality, but I love Ombre Leather Parfum. I've actually surprisingly didn't know how many people around me, like at my job. I work around fragrances. I've come to find out Ombre Leather Parfum actually is a very strong fragrance coming off of a lot of people. And it's very well appreciated. The sandalwood does a beautiful job making it smell luxurious. So as far as the one by Dolce & Gabbana, which version do I have? I can't remember exactly. So this is the Eau de Parfum. So Dolce & Gabbana is the one. I love Dolce & Gabbana, but I will say, this is, well, you know what? Actually, let me change my mind. I was going to say, because I haven't smelled it in a while, oddly enough, I can see this being a beach fragrance. This almost has like a... I can feel like this being actually a beachy type of scent. I used to think of this as more like a fall wintertime scent, but somehow this is making me almost feel like sandalwoody sunscreen. I actually might end up wearing this today. I haven't even thought about this bottle in quite some time. I'm really glad that you brought this up. Sometimes, as you can see, I've got so many fragrances that there's a lot of times I forget to even try out things again that I've had for a very long time. They kind of get buried into the mix. And so it means a lot to me when you guys bring up stuff, because this is exciting. I haven't wore this in a while. I think I'm going to give this about, I don't remember what I rated this when I did the review last year, but I think I'd actually probably give this maybe about a 9 or maybe an 8.7 out of 10, to be completely real with you. I'll actually put it on right now, and I'll show you guys how I personally tend to apply fragrances. So I don't know what your routine is, but I do the 2 pulse points, back of the neck, 2 shoulders, so you don't go as easily nose blind because of the center of the chest. And then for me, I also like to put stuff on my wrist. Do this. Oh yeah, no, that's fantastic. I can't believe I haven't wore this in a while. I know you see me overspraying it on my hands, but I just kind of want to get the chance to really give it a trial today and remember how well does this perform. This is amazing. It's a very bright, rich, beautiful scent. It's got like a little bit of a woodsy quality. So yeah, it's pretty cool to like rediscover things you haven't smelled in a very long time. I don't think I've smelled this in probably close to a year, something like that. People say a person's playlist tells a lot about their personality. In our case, it's fragrances. I agree with you. What do you think is the best date night fragrances? One for summer, one for winter. Best date night fragrances. I would say, depending on how you want to come off, perhaps something like Initio Side Effect. So I'm going to give you like a blurred line here. So for summertime, Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau Le Parfum, or Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau Oh my goodness, what is it called? I literally have it. Paradise Garden, whatever it is. Sorry, I can't remember right now. But that's the one I just got recently. The newer one. One of those would be very fantastic interchangeable. The Paradise one would be more for earlier day, and then for evening time, I gear towards Le Beau de Parfum. And then closer towards like getting near fall, but towards the end of summer, I would say probably Le One. So the One by Dolce and Gabbana, or as well during summertime, Dolce and Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense would be really nice. Jean Paul Gaultier's Lamelle Parfum, and then Elixir for evening, Lamelle for like early day, something like that as you're getting into fall. And then straight up into wintertime, I would say probably Grand Soir. Grand Soir, or definitely Stronger With You Parfum, something like that. Stronger With You Parfum would be really good date fragrances. I have to leave. Well, hey, it's been really awesome seeing you, and I really appreciate you. As far as my favorite Azzaro, to be completely real with you, I don't really have one. Just throwing it out there. I'm not like the biggest Azzaro fan. And I know I don't mean to do that as like a cop out. It's just I love to know what other people in the comments' favorites are. I've just never been like a very giant Azzaro fan. So sorry about that. I like helping people out and giving my thoughts and opinions, but there's stuff I haven't in some time had like a lot of exposure to. I don't really want to give some thoughts because you never know. These things can change. Even answering questions when we do these live streams, sometimes I find myself like weeks later starting to gear shift my overall answer to those same questions. There was a time when I thought I didn't really like this one as much, and as today, I'm really loving it. I'm glad that I'm wearing it today because it makes me feel good. It's like a wonderful little blanket to put on, and it does have almost like a beautiful sandalwoody sunscreen type of vibe going to it. It's like a less aquatic Bleu de Chanel parfum type of feel, minusing the blue notes on the top. And as well, it's just like recently, right? For quite some time, Naxos by Xerjoff was my absolute #1 favorite fragrance. But then I started kind of backing away from it. And it's still in my top 5, but Le Male Parfum became my #1 favorite again because they kind of alternate for me depending on the mood that I'm in. At this moment, though, I have kind of gear shifted back to the point where I think that probably more long-term Naxos by Xerjoff might be my more like truly long-term absolute favorite because something about it just makes me feel so at peace and nostalgic, and I love it so much. Let me see what you got going on here. Have to leave. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who's had the opportunity. Sorry, I said that super country. Sometimes you guys don't get to hear it when I do these live streams because I almost go into like, I tell you guys the truth, but I almost go into like a mildly presenter mode type of voice. But I find myself not showing you how I normally talk when I'm actually hanging out with people. It gets like super duper country. But just to rehash real fast, because somebody asked earlier about Memento by Riffs, I do got to say, this one's like, decent, but it still has a cheap quality to it. This smells like somebody wanted to make something luxurious with cheaper materials, which is obviously probably the case because in a lot of times, these guys from some of these Middle Eastern fragrance houses are just trying to create something for a good price so they can like mass sell niche quality stuff. But again, compared to Amouage or Xerjoffs, and not to say, there's certain companies like Hadlaj and so forth, and even the same company who's tended to make things still smell really good for the price. But this one personally just doesn't land for me that well. That's my thoughts, and no offense to anybody who disagrees. Have you tried Narciso Rodriguez Vetiver Musk? I have not. I have not tried that, Alex and Antoine. So if you have tried that, though, I'd love to know your thoughts. And again, anybody in the comments, if you tried, what is that called again? Narciso Rodriguez Vetiver Musk. If anybody in the comments has tried that, I'd also love to know what your opinions are. But yeah, I'm going to talk about just for a minute what my personal favorite fragrances of all time are. And hey, what's going on, buddy? Super happy to see you here. Hey, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, as you probably have noticed, I haven't been able to do a fragrance live stream in quite a little bit because things have been super busy. As before, when I was really building things up, doing these live streams and creating this community, I had a lot more. My channel name used to be like what's on my silver play button, Douglas Moon Fragrance. I started backing away from just making my channel name purely like having the word fragrance in it because I wanted to start feeling comfortable without messing with people. Guess who I am? So King by Tizilla. That is a tough one because as I see your name looks a little different than what I recognized before. So it's happy to see you here. I know that you are one of my mods, but I want to know, is it RIP or who is this? Who is this that's coming through with a little bit of a different name here? It looks like it's been altered. You should do it more often. I am going to. Are you talking about doing fragrance live streams? Because if that's what you're talking about, I am going to start doing it more often. But like I was saying real quick, while I'm waiting for my buddy to answer, I was doing these like almost every day at one point when I was building up my hours and stuff like that. After my original algorithm died, I kind of got discouraged for a while. Real quick, to anybody popping through, if you're like, who cares? You're more than welcome to ask questions about fragrances, and I'll get back to you. But on here, I talk about myself. One more chance to guess who I am. So it's not King Sword. I don't think it's probably not King Sword, or Yuvraj. Could it be Yuvraj? I'm not entirely sure, but let me know who you are, because again, like I said, I definitely know a name change, and I'm definitely probably wrong, and I just want to be totally respectful, because I know that you're a mod of mine, so you gotta be somebody that I've talked to quite a bit. And I'm sorry for not automatically recognizing, and it might not be. You got it. I'm Yuvraj. I'm super happy to see you here, buddy. I know you changed your name, but I'm very happy to see you here. It makes me so happy. Again, anybody who becomes a part of this community, if you come hang out during these streams, I love getting to know you guys. Real quick, is Tarathi Blue a good take on Tiger? So just to give you a very honest answer for you guys, to be real, I'm not a huge fan of Bulgari Tiger in the first place, but I will say that for what it's worth, even though this does smell like definitely like, shower gel, smells cheaper. That's just my personal thoughts. This is great to have if you want like a nice summertime. I'm going to the pool, just throw some junk on and go. This is a good fragrance for that. But I will say that if this was like $50, if this was like $60, it would definitely not be worth it. Great performance. Don't get me wrong. Athlon fragrances have like a track record for being a fantastic performance, but I would say that since I already don't really like Bulgari Tiger too much, this is like a pretty decent closeness to it. It's not perfect, but it's close enough that it would be worth you just saving the money and like go ahead and getting this bad boy, although Tiger's not that bad. So just throwing it out there. Do you have Eternal Oud by Lattafa? It's Grand Soir. What do you think about it? It's definitely not Grand Soir. And what I mean by that is it's supposed to be. So as you can see here, MFK is one of my favorite fragrance houses. I've got Grand Soir right here. I absolutely love Grand Soir. It's also in my top 10 fragrances of all time. But just throwing this out there, there are qualities about this that are fantastic. Eternal Oud, I never grabbed for it, but there's qualities about this that are fantastic. Just throwing this out there, though, it falls short overall for being like truly like something I would want to have. But I think for a lot of people, this is a great recommendation. It's just not quite as luxurious and perfect as Grand Soir is to me, but I think it's really good. I would say as far as closeness, it's probably about 75% there, and then there's just a chunk that's different and cheaper smelling, maybe 80% there. But it's really nice. Good morning, Jamie. Happy to see you here. Good morning. Sillage. Is Sillage a good dupe for Silver Mountain Water? It actually is. I recently got my hands, because I like the bottle more, of Supremacy in Heaven. Really good fragrance, but I will say, to me personally, Sillage is the better competitor for a Silver Mountain Water dupe. But in and of itself, it still is more synthetic than Silver Mountain Water, obviously, because material costs and stuff. But it has really good performance. So I'm going to go down that way. Sorry, I was busy in my work. Can't be able to join stream, but now I'm here. Well, I'm very happy for you to be here, buddy, and I love seeing you. Club de Nuit Sillage is the best clone for Silver Cream. To me personally, I think it is. I love Club de Nuit. Their whole line really does an excellent job what they do. But I haven't gotten my 10 baddie yet. Hey, man, I'm praying for you. I'm hoping for you to be able to get that to come down your way. What's the opinion on Aether Extract? Sorry, by the way, if you guys see me run through comments, I just do the best I can to keep up with everybody and be as respectful as I can be, because I appreciate y'all so much for even stopping through. So I actually just gave my bottle of Aether away the other day to my friend Sam, because he's the same person that I gave my PDM Greenlee to. He just really likes it. It's not my personal thing. The whole freshness line by Parfums de Marly is just not really for me. I love what they do, and they're more woodsy, and they're fougere. They're more oh my goodness, I cannot believe I'm forgetting the word right now. That enraptures the other stuff that I love of theirs. But I love what they do in other departments. But just personally, Greenlee, Sedley, and now Castley just aren't my style, although Greenlee's like to me the best of the bunch. But Aether was good, just not very good performance. Very weak performance for an Extrait de Parfum. Collection has increased, right? It has increased quite a bit. Gourmand, that's right. Thank you so much, Christopher, for helping me out. I appreciate you. Thank you. And it really means a lot when you guys help me out. Is Dior stuff good? I think Dior is fantastic. I know people get so into niche or cheap Middle Eastern fragrances these days. They kind of push a lot of designers to the side, but Dior is always going to be one of the best fragrance houses of all time, even though they have reformulated to some degree on certain things. Like the other day, I did Dior Homme Intense. I believe that's which one it was. I did a review for that the other day. You guys are more than welcome to show some love if you like my channel and would be willing to help me out. But I love Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum, and the Parfum is my favorite. and then the Dior Homme Intense and so many others of theirs are actually fantastic fragrances. I've been iffy on actually buying Tom Ford the gold bottle. I forgot the name. Is it good? You might be talking about Costa Azura Parfum or Noir Extreme Parfum. I'm not entirely sure which one you're talking about. Is it square or rounded off? If you're talking about or you might even be talking about the like more copper bottle here, which is crap. Which one is it? Oud Mineral. If you're talking about Costa Azura, I actually really like that one. If you're talking about Noir Extreme, I just tell you to go ahead and get your hands on the Eau de Parfum version, because this one to me is the better version. How's your legs? My legs are doing fantastic, Yuvraj. Thank you for asking. Have you smoked cop? I have not. The round one you're pointing to. Oh, this one. This one right here. This is Oud Mineral, so it's not gold. This one, compared to the Costa Azura, that one's more oceanic to the core. This one's more mineral. This is Oud Mineral, and actually the name fits it perfectly. It's not oudi, but it's more like an aquatic, woodsy mineral feel, like next to wet stones. I know it sounds weird, but it's really nice. But how's your legs, buddy? My legs are doing great, Yuvraj. I appreciate you asking. So just to answer you guys one more time, you guys are more than welcome to keep asking questions. I'll try to keep up with them. I always want to answer everybody's questions, but if I miss anything, I'm sorry. And please repeat them if you can, but just don't overdo it. But with that being said, I appreciate every one of you guys who come through here. It means the world to me. Again, I never want you guys to think that I'm just another fragrance YouTuber who thinks he's better than everybody and don't got time for y'all. That's the opposite. My channel means crap jack diddly if it ain't for you guys asking questions. So thank you to anyone who even takes the time to stop by, even if you never come back. So I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. I try to do these live streams as often as possible. I answer whatever questions I can, but if I don't know an answer to something, I'm not going to lie to you, and hopefully somebody in the comments will be able to help you guys out. I want to see some moves. Oh yeah? You trying to see some dance moves today, Yuvraj? I appreciate you. I can't do too many stupid dance moves at this point because A, I'm 32, so I'm getting old and I'm a dad. And with that being said, also I got myself a new little phone stand, so I'm not like ghetto rigging it to be propped up on my wife's dresser thing anymore. So if I move too fast, it's very prone to wobbling. I'm a cheapo. Is there a good clone for Versace Crystal Noir? To be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not completely sure because I haven't tried any of those. I'm sorry I can't help you out. But if anybody in the comments can, I appreciate y'all. Is Chrome Extreme a good substitute for Armani? Are you talking about Armani Code? So if you're talking about Armani Code, an Armani Code Parfum, no substitute for it. Absolutely not. Eau de Parfum, no substitute. For me personally. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really know what Chrome Extreme is unless you're talking about Azaro Chrome. But to me, no, definitely not. It's like a completely different world. No, Profundo. Okay, so I didn't really know that those were supposed to be a comparison, but I would say not quite. I would still gear shift you towards Profundo, but that's just me personally. Just my taste. What's a good dupe cologne that you would recommend? Thank you for asking, buddy. So a good dupe cologne that I would actually recommend is going to be, so a lot of them don't really bring me that much joy, to be real with you, but there is a couple that do make me happy. Starting with this one, real quick. Nice dance moves, now tell me how's your yesterday. I'll do that in just a second. But thank you, IT Hacks. So compared to the fact that I'm not a huge Creed fan in and of itself because they just have performance problems, although I'm really a big fan of like how they helped the industry in the past, Supremacy Collector's Edition by Afnan. This is fantastic. If you are a fan of Creed Aventus, if you've got to smell Absolute, it's like Aventus but with some bergamot and apple notes going on the top, a little bit different. This is incredible. I love this one. I'm not a huge fan of too many companies continuing to try to dupe the original Aventus DNA, although Club de Nuit Intense Parfum and like Eros Energy really blow me away. I love those. But Supremacy Collector's Edition being an absolute dupe, I know Precious, or Precious, however you pronounce it, is supposed to be good. I like this one. I think this is fantastic. Really good performer. Eagle Star by Sensual Obsessions, who is the same company, really awesome dudes from Florida who made my fragrance. It's just for me, so you can't buy this, but I had this made recently, and you can make your own on their website. But mine I made Jardin de Lune. So their Eagle Star is a fantastic Altair dupe, along with Hod Lodge Vanilla Dunes, and then Hod Lodge's Island, which is supposed to be like the Beau de Parfum. So fantastic one. It's not redundant. Do you think that Noir Extreme Parfum is redundant to the EDP, or do you just not enjoy the leather? So I really love leather notes in a lot of things. Sorry if I miss people's comments, by the way. But I will say, to me personally, I just prefer the EDP. So the Parfum is not bad, but in general, when it comes to Noir Extreme, just throwing this out there, but this isn't really something I go for a lot anyway. But I will say, ooh, actually, you know what? Since I don't have anything over on this arm, I put a little spray because it's not my personal normal taste. Maybe during wintertime, I feel a little bit different. But as I've tried them out more and more, I like the EDP better. It's kind of like if they were to, I got a bottle up there. I did a review a couple of weeks or a month or two ago of Bois Pacifique by Tom Ford. That just came out very similar to Costa Azura. And I gotta say, just the EDP to me of like, if they was to do a parfum edition of that, for instance, I think a lot of those cases, I just prefer the eau de parfum version, except for ombre leather. The opening is my favorite part. I think I agree with you there. Definitely, definitely, definitely. It's kind of like how they've done a Oud Wood, Tom Ford Oud Wood, eau de parfum edition, and also a fabulous parfum edition. I just kind of prefer the eau de parfum of those for the most part. And that's just me. You know, everybody's different. It's a lot of fragrance, man. Probably smelling majestic. Oh, definitely. Definitely try to smell good every day. It's just perfumery, fragrances is a huge passion of mine. And a lot of people who come through here feel the same way. But even if you're like passively into fragrances, you're still welcome here to talk about that, talk about whatever you'd like to. Just want to remind you guys, as long as we all stay respectful to one another, that's what I do here. It's a family-friendly little show. I know it's not really a show. It's like a stream, but when I do these live streams, I keep it family friendly, and everybody's welcome to join in no matter who you are, where you're from, as long as you're respectful. But even if you're not interested in fragrances and you just want to ask general life questions, I ain't no doctor, no priest or nothing, but at the same time, I will do my best to be here. I am a dad, so I will be here with you guys. By the way, if any of you watching are also dads, happy late Father's Day to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Then again, if any moms come through here, happy early or late Mother's Day. I don't know. Happy everything. I'm super happy to have you guys here. My favorite clone house. Bro, you do streams on 3 hours after the time is there now because you get more views on that time? You do stream. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but there are different times of the day to do reviews. Also, IT hacks, I definitely agree with you. So I'm just throwing it out there to you guys in case you don't know. I am a Christian myself. I do like just random Bible study live streams on here talking about scholarship and stuff. Not here to push that on people or to debate or argue. It's actually funny because as soon as I mention that stuff, like 10 people drop out of the stream. But again, I'm not here just like trying to push that stuff on people. It's just a part of who I am. And I do it here on the channel too. But you don't have to be part of that if you come through. But I definitely agree with you guys. No, definitely not from prison. And I wish you a good Father's Day too. Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here so much. But with that being said, if somebody could delete that last person's comment and block them from the chat, because really want to make this very clear. Insulting people and cussing and stuff like that is not welcome on my chat. I don't really care who you are, and I don't care what your deal is. You're not welcome here to be talking inappropriate or to be saying things that are like pushing things on people like that. It's just not okay. We don't do that. So Yuvraj, if you could, I'd appreciate you to block this guy from the chat. Or if anybody could do it, I'd appreciate you if you block this person completely. So it's not cool. This is a family-friendly show, and everybody's supposed to be able to feel comfortable here discussing things, and we just don't do that. Like I said, I'm a Christian personally, and I don't care. Like I do care, but like whoever you are, all walks of life, you're welcome to my channel. And even if like another person who claims to be a Christian starts insulting people on this channel, they're not welcome. They're banned. We just don't do that. If somebody tries to come on here and be too political or something, they get banned from here because that's just not appropriate and it's disrespectful. So everybody should be okay to ask questions here, and that's the type of place I like to do it. Real quick, hold on a second, guys. I want to check something. Let's see what in the world. Sorry, my wife has a box of her shoes, but anyway, sorry, I know it seems super strange, but yes, you do. He do have Lattafa. So I do have Chanel, but the only Chanel bottle that I actually still have at this point is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. I used to have more, but I gifted them away because there's not too many Chanels that I'm a big fan of, to be completely honest with you. But Bleu de Chanel Parfum is still one of my favorites of all time. But like Allure Homme Sport is a pretty good fragrance, things along those lines, but I don't really keep them in my collection. But if there is anything you would like to see me do, I'd love to add it to my collection at some point in time, or add it to my list of things to review. I do not have Lattafa Mashrabia. What do you think about Royal Blend Bourbon? Let me see. I actually don't have Royal Blend Bourbon. I've got Royal Blend Nero. To be real with you, I've had some time to think about this. And I actually think that even this one, I might like this more than Lattafa Hamra. So I've got all three of the current Lattafa Hamras. I've got Dukhan, Kawa, and then the original. And Kawa is my favorite of the bunch. But in comparison to the original, I actually think I like this one even more. Platinum Egoist is good. You're right. It is a good fragrance. Does Royal Blend last? It does. I think this is actually also, no, sorry, this is an eau de parfum, but this does actually have really good lasting power. Recently got a L'Homme Sport Eau Extreme, my new fave. Oh yeah, that is a fantastic fragrance. And like I said, I'm going to have to add some of this back to my collection and do reviews for you guys. Now, what's up, Kitchen Sink? Super happy to see you here. I'm doing really great. Bro, once in the night I was watching your short and I just clicked the video and you screamed, my phone fell from my hand. I'm sorry, buddy. I'll try to, every now and then I like to have some fun and do some ridiculous shorts on my channel. And I haven't done any shorts quite in a little bit now because like I said, just a quick update for anybody who's new here. For a little while there, definitely was kind of not doing so good because of what's happening with my grandma. And but when I started going back to work full time 2 weeks ago, because I was like, well, I'm not taking any more time off for the time being. I've been kind of in a much better place, just been having a good time being around all my friends again. I just haven't had as much energy coming home at night because we've been getting home really late. I've been leaving at like 4:30 in the morning and not getting home until 7:30 at night. So I've been super busy and just haven't had the time to stream as much and just didn't feel like it, plus spending time with family. But I got my schedule changed. So now I'll be getting off hours earlier and getting home way earlier. So I'm gonna be able to start doing these streams more regularly and hanging out with you guys. So I really, really do appreciate everybody who pops through here. And it's just been really nice to have you guys' support as a whole and helping me continue to grow this bad boy and do things that I love. With that being said, I also do want to encourage you guys, if you're ever really curious about trying to make your own fragrance, definitely, especially if you're in the United States, go to, oh, dude, John Vaughn. What's up, John Vaughn? Super happy to see you here, buddy. You know what? Is it okay, John Vaughn, if I add you as a moderator as well? I'd really appreciate it if you're cool with that. If not, hey, that's fine. No pushing on anybody. Any one of you guys who ever come through here, if you want to be a moderator, you're more than welcome to join, because it's always helpful to have more people. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's always helpful to have more people help me keep out trolls and stuff like that. Standard moderator. Thank you. You are now a moderator. I can't stay. I'm working out, listening to music. Hey, well, thank you so much, Kitchen Sink. It means a lot to me to see you guys pop by. Also, any of you guys who stopped through here, please don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy, even if you just hang out for a minute. If you enjoy what you see me doing here and you'd like to ever see more, even if you don't subscribe, please definitely hit that like button because it helps the stream to keep growing and going. But I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be, thank you so much, John Vaughn. I appreciate you. So I'm going to be leaning back heavier into doing the fragrance content because I started going through a little bit of a period. We're probably going to lose a lot of people as we go through this particular section right here. But for me personally, it was starting to reveal more and more about me and my own personal faith, my own personal beliefs, because it's important to me in my life as a whole and always has been. But I kind of just wanted to be a little bit more open about that because I realized it was meaningful and helping some people who came through here. But I always also want to let you guys know that I'm welcoming to everybody of all walks of life. I don't alienate anyone here from this channel, especially these streams. It's a good place for us all, unless people are being disrespectful. With that being said, though, I got really excited doing my Bible study streams when I do them. And for anybody who comes through, it's like really meaningful to me. On the flip side, though, at the same time, what did you say? Mr. John, huge responsibility helping me keep the riffraff out of here. That's which is funny because the guy on the thumbnail, this is riffraff. But yeah, like just to finish what I was saying, basically I started leaning a little bit harder into doing just purely faith-based stuff. After thinking about it quite a bit, though, on the flip side, I kind of realized that at the same time, that was starting to alienate more out people who are not on the same page, which I understand now, thinking about how Jesus teaches. For instance, if you want to be good to those in general, like be a light for the world, it's kind of easier to do that if you are welcoming all folks instead of doing things that are only for other believers. So I'm still going to do my Bible study streams, but I'm still going to continue to be primarily, as I was before, a fragrance channel and welcome people of all walks of life. So just an update. That's kind of what I'm going to do. Did you wish God Father's Day? Oh yeah, every day, brother. I'll take it seriously. I had to check you out. Oh yeah, no, Yuvraj is a really awesome buddy. He's a good friend, and I love having him here. Yuvraj has been here. That's his actual name, by the way. So King here, his name John is Yuvraj, and he's a good buddy from India. It is India, right? I just want to be sure, not Pakistan, because sometimes I forget. They're not in the same place at all, but sometimes I do forget which one you're from particularly. But yeah, just be sincere about your responsibility. Oh, John Vaughn definitely will be, brother. He will be. And we appreciate him so much. He's awesome. Every time he's come through in the past, he's been a fantastic buddy to have through here. But yeah, no, anybody who comes through, you're more than welcome to be here. And so at this point, I'm going to, now that I've explained kind of where I'm at, Just throwing this out there. I'm never going to personally ask for it, but I do want you guys to know that thanks to you guys you're watching and helping me get my watch hours to continue to grow, I finally hit the point where I can receive super chats and also have like channel memberships and stuff. Apparently, I have to hit $100 before I can start actually getting paid. So that's odd. Instead of a YouTube thing, you have to jump through all these hoops to be a YouTuber. So for instance, you have to hit 3,000 hours of watch time just once, but you have to hit 3,000 hours of watch time so you can start getting paid receiving super chats and stuff. But even then, you can't set up a payment, a way to get paid, like your bank account or something, until people have sent you $100 worth, or you've earned it through whatever. So it's kind of weird, but you have to hit that threshold, and then to actually get paid for ads, you have to hit 4,000 hours. But we're getting there. So thanks to you guys, just doing a little pit stop. Anybody who's new here, please feel free to ask about fragrances, but just doing a little pit stop, let you know. So, bro, how to be a Sigma boy? I'm not entirely sure about that, to be honest with you. But yeah, if anybody ever wants to send anything at all, I don't even care if it's just like $1. I don't care if you guys want to send me $1 or anything at all. If you ever feel like sending something to help with the channel, I would appreciate that, because at this point, now I just got to get to that goal. Now I have to get to that goal so I can actually start earning money doing this. Because if you don't know and you're new here, not that anybody owes me anything, but I buy all these. Everything you see here, all the reviews that I do, I buy them all myself. Nobody sends me stuff for free because I'm not willing to lie about them for companies and stuff. So if anybody's ever willing to help out, I'd appreciate you. Time for a week of sleep streams. Oh gosh, yeah, dude, I could only imagine that. Just a week of me laying there with the phone going, and then I don't realize it. Like I fart in the middle of the night, and I'm like, whoops, I'm gonna name my property. Oh no, definitely don't do that. That'd be crazy. That'd be so wild if like I just woke up one day and like, hey, by the way, do you know that you own some property across the world right now? And I'd be like, what? It would kind of like, no offense, but it would be like that joke where you get a little email on Twitter or something like that. Somebody's like, I'm the Prince of Mumbai, and I left you $1 million, and you'd be like, what? That's crazy. But yeah, just with that being said, anybody who pops through, please, more than welcome. I know if you've already been watching for a while, sometimes I have to say repetitive things, but that's just the nature of the beast, because you never know if new people are coming. Let me see how long I've been streaming for. Oh, dude, no way. I didn't realize I've been going for an hour already. I wasn't planning on going for too very long. All right, let me see what time it is. Cool, okay. So I still got a little bit of a while before I go. That oil money hits different. Yeah, it does. You start getting that money from other people. Next thing you know, I'm like, sorry, guys. I'll be seeing you guys later. Now, I'd still stream with y'all if that was to happen. I'm going to keep doing this as long as I possibly can throughout life, because it's been very fun to meet different people. Every one of you guys who comes through, it's really awesome. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk about this just yet, and I want to do this now because my buddies at this company who makes these fragrances, it's $40 to make your own fragrance, and they're all extrait de parfums, but they're not crap extrait de parfums. They're like really strong and work very well. But unlike their Eagle Star or their other fragrances like Firepower and Full Throttle, like they make really good stuff. So again, they're not sponsoring me or anything, but they did send me a sample pack, and they actually are really good fragrances. I loved almost every one of them. Were like super 9.5, 10 out of 10s, and actually really good performance. But the fact that you can make your own fragrance is really cool to me. So, and again, they're parfum extracts, but I got to name mine. They put a little name on the side that I chose, Jardin de Lune. So basically, it just means like Garden of the Moon, pretty much in French. I had to, I don't speak French, but I thought it sounded nice, better than like Moon Garden or whatever. So, but yeah, Sensual Obsessions. If you ever go on their website, scent like smelling, Sensual Obsessions. If you go on their website, it is $40 plus $5 shipping if you live in the U.S. And you pretty much get to choose all the notes that you want. So for the original price point, I got to do 6, and that's what I did, and it turned out really awesome. It's like the perfect little grandma smell that I wanted for me myself. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping through here, and it is really cool. Andrew's wife, another day, we on property overseas. Andrew would be like, "Yeah, bad boy gave me." I say, "Yeah." I tell my wife, I'd be like, you won't believe this. By the way, a lot of people haven't mentioned this yet. Her actual name is Jess, Jess, but I call her Huggy. So if you ever hear me say Huggy, that's me talking about my wife. That's what the name that she goes by to me and the kids. But yeah, it'd be like, hey Huggy, guess what? Turns out Yuvraj left us like a whole bunch of property, so we're gonna have to travel now and go across the world. We see movies regularly at AMC Theater, and the other day we saw The Phoenician Scheme, and it's like an artsy-fartsy film, but it actually was kind of fun. It had Benicio del Toro and Michael Cera and them in it, and definitely it made me think about that, like World Traveler, and just be like, well, we've come into a lot of money recently. But I really appreciate you guys, everybody who's taken the time to stop through so far. I'm going to continue, like I said, to get back to the core of doing more and more fragrance streams and hanging out, doing more fragrance review videos and stuff. But 100%, anybody who ever wants to pop through, please feel free. Love traveling. I do too. Me and my wife love to travel when we get the chance to. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially after we just relocated and moved, because it costs a lot of money to travel. It may surprise people, but it's not the easiest thing to do if you don't got a lot of money to just throw away, especially as much as mortgages and stuff cost these days. Bro, I want to watch a Nolan movie in IMAX theater at least once in my life. So IMAX movies is definitely funny because we've only checked out one ever, and I got to say it was it was an experience. The seats were not the most comfortable. I don't know why, because IMAX is like one of the most expensive movie tickets you can get. But at least at the theater we went to, an AMC theater, they don't lay back. Whereas if you just go to a digital or something like that, and what's the other one? Dolby Cinema. If you got that stuff, you can lay the seats back and feel like a real somebody. But yeah, anybody who ends up stopping through here, if you're new to the channel, please feel free to ask questions about fragrances. I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. This is my fragrance collection. This is primarily what I do on this channel. I do other types of comments. I do content. I do faith-based content and stuff. But outside of that, everybody's welcome here. And God bless each and every one of you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. Yes, it's very pricey. It's on Utah, Nevada, called Road Trip. Oh, heck yeah. We're planning on going in a couple of weeks to Pennsylvania, where my wife's family's from. Bro, just get a tool. Yeah, your collection is nice. Thank you, John Vaughn. I really appreciate that. It definitely took a little bit of time to accumulate all these bad boys. I only had like the top shelf, and then when we first moved, and we got the money from selling the house, I was like, cool. So I basically talked with my wife, and I was like, I want to go all in. I want to build up a real collection here so that I can actually start doing reviews upon reviews and just see how it goes, really try this channel thing out. Going to throw this out there, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. You can have all the fragrances in the world, but that doesn't mean that people are going to watch your videos. I've come to find out that unless you are extremely sensational, like you're getting all wacky and crazy, or you kind of hype up stuff, it's almost like doing drama to get attention. If you are not loud and in the camera and doing like crazy editing and stuff, it's a little difficult to really build an audience on things like YouTube, or especially on TikTok. And also, if you're not like talking about dupes all the time, it also seems to be difficult to really build up an audience on these type of things of people who really watch what you do. But even then, I refuse to be sensational. I already have all these tattoos, and I look like the type of douchebag who would be acting crazy. That's not my style. I love hanging out with people, making people laugh. But I'd rather hang out with you guys and just talk and be serious and have a good time than to put on a big show for entertainment. Because the way I see it, if people are going to be actual part of a community, I'd rather have a community than have fans, if that makes any sense. I'd rather my channel be a fragrance community. Like, yeah, the channel has my name, Andrew Douglas Moon. But I would rather my thing be a community here than instead of you guys just being like fans or something. Because it would almost be a little strange. Like if I was ever out in public, or if me and my wife were traveling, and one of you guys who's a part of this community with me comes through, and like you see me in public and you come up and say, hey, that would be like me meeting a friend instead of me meeting a fan, if that makes any sense. So that's kind of the atmosphere that I really want to build here on this channel. And again, as you can see, like not too many people end up watching. We got 3 people sticking around watching right now. So when you do this kind of stuff, it's not the most popular thing in the world. But I just want to be able to hang out with people for real instead of having people who just come and go. So with that being said, again, I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. I'm going to stream for just a little bit longer. You guys are more than welcome to ask any questions you would like to. Again, I'm not a professional. I'm just somebody who's passionate about fragrances, and I love answering questions about the luxurious, the expensive, and niche. I got cheaper ones over here and dupes and stuff. I'm unpaid, unsponsored. I just talk about these with my honest opinion. So please feel free to ask away as long as you're being respectful. Pretty soon I'm going to end the stream, and when I do, I normally end it with a prayer, but people of all walks of life are welcome here, and I'm not alienating or shutting anybody out. So as long as you're respectful, feel free to ask whatever you would like, even if it's not fragrance related. But for the most part, I try to keep it that way during these live streams. So, and thank you everybody who's stopping through here. Real quick, I am going to check something because I want to see what we're working with. I cannot see past my light. I think I actually might cut this off. I'm not sure if it's even really helpful. 10:55. Cool. I actually am making really good time right now. Not that you guys care, but after this, I'm going to be going and doing some more studies before I see how things are going with my grandma. But yeah, to anybody who's watching, please feel free to take the time to comment questions and things that you'd like to know about. If there's any fragrances here, if you want to ask me about Tiny Jesus right there, it doesn't really matter. But I have been collecting a few more dupes. Like I said, I've got Tarathi Blue the electric edition coming pretty soon. Can't wait for that. I also got Afnan Le Fleur. I got the Le Fleur the Bouquet edition coming through. I'm very excited about that because I love floral fragrances, and that's one that I've heard a few things about. Haven't seen too many people talking about very recently, but it's something that I'm excited to get my nose on and actually give a shot. But definitely seems like not too many people are popping through here at this point. So to you guys who stop through, if you ever like it, please hit the like button. It really helps continue to grow the algorithm and everything. If anybody ever feels compelled to send me anything like $1, it doesn't really matter. If you want to send me something to help me continue to fund doing this, you're more than welcome to do that now that I got super chats. I guess I might as well bring it up. It feels douchey when I do that, but I still want to bring it up just for the sake of the fact that I have to do that if I want to start earning for doing this. So yeah, if anybody ever feels like sending anything at all to help me continue to do this, you're more than welcome to do so. Or if you just want to ask questions, it costs absolutely nothing to do that. Although I did just realize that's kind of what super chats are, is like you give something and ask a question when you do it. But yeah, please feel free. Ask any questions you would like. I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. This is my collection of fragrances, and everybody's welcome here. Yeah, the Tarathi Blue, definitely not one of my favorite fragrances that I've ever got my nose to. It's not bad. I'm more excited to smell the electric version because I've only ever smelled Blue Talisman once, and it was nice. A little hairspray like people say that it is, but it was still pretty decent. But I gotta say, it just wasn't like the greatest thing I've ever got my nose on, and people spend an incredible amount of money for that fragrance. But this one is supposed to be like Bulgari Tiger. I think it's pretty good. But now that nobody's really asking any questions, feel free to do so, but I'm about to go ahead and do my closing prayer. Again, I am a Christian, but everybody's welcome here. You don't have to join a prayer if you don't want to. I'm just doing it because that's just what I do. But if anybody wants to ask questions while I pray, if you just don't want to be part of that, you're more than welcome to do so. Look at the fragrances I got here, thinking about fragrances you want to ask questions about, please feel free. But with that being said, I'm about to close it out. So dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for everybody who took the time to stop through here today to ask questions, to just be a part of this stream, Lord. I thank you so much. I love you with all my heart for this beautiful day, for our home, our life, and the fact that we're in good health. And I hope the same thing for everybody watching. I hope they come to know you and just get to have your peace and love in their life and their heart. And just that wonderful grace. And even if they're not in arm's reach right now, I still just lift them up to you and pray that your will be done in their lives. And I send nothing but love to everybody out there. We are in a world of hurt, a world of pain right now, and people are suffering in all walks of life. And I know it's just a part of the nature of the beast of us having free will, but I pray for these people that they just have love and peace in their existence and in their families. And I pray blessings and lift them all up to you, Lord, in the name of Jesus. Just thank you so much for this time that we've all had together. And every one of them, no matter who they are, I appreciate them so much. So, Lord, I love you. I thank you. And in your name, Jesus, amen. So yeah, like I said, thank you guys. It means the world to me whenever y'all pop through here. It really, truly does. I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. I try to do these live streams as often as I get the chance to do so. And you're always welcome to ask any questions you would like. But as well, I do actual fragrance reviews multiple times a week and try to get them out there to y'all. So please feel free to stop by. I might do another stream later on this evening. If you guys want to be a part of that, please let me know. And I'm just going to keep talking about the ones that I got. But for now, I'm going to... excuse me. For now, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to sign off. And it has been really nice hanging out with you guys. So I will see y'all later.